The day of my inguinal hernia surgery was interesting. It went pretty well. I thought my worst pain was in my brain. I mean, the worst part of it was worrying about it, thinking about it, being anxious about it. And that was the hardest part, was just getting there to do it. And when I went in there, I met with the whole team, the nurses, the doctors, the anesthesiologists, and they were all wonderful. They all told me exactly what was going to happen. They answered all my questions. They relieved my anxiety. And I thought, okay, I'm not too worried about this now. Even though, I worried for days, weeks before I had this done, because I was concerned about longevity in my family and it being very short. So anyway, and my brother, he helped talk me down my anxiety before I went to the hospital. But when I talked to the doctors and the team, and I signed all the paperwork, and once I signed the paperwork saying that I'm allowing this to happen, the anesthesiologist gave me a little bit to relax me, and then I felt fine. So I went into surgery. They were very professional. They hooked me all up. They put me on the table. They put the mask on, started the pumping the medicine, and I think in 3 seconds I was out. Saying I know I'm waking up in recovery, and it was like fine at that time. But then once I was awake, the pain really rushed in. I was pretty much in agony for quite a while. They were pumping Demerol and whatever other drugs they were using into me every 5 minutes. And always asking me on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your pain level? And it was a 10. For a few times they asked me a 10, a 10. Next thing you know, I'm like, oh, it's about a 8. And then they still gave me more medicine. Then when it got down to about a 6, they were ready to. They gave me a pill. I think it was oxycodone. And then they were ready to release me. So they wheeled me down to the door, and my wife and my brother-in-law were there to pick me up, and I got in the car and home I went. And when I got home, I just kind of hobbled into the house and sat down in the chair, and okay, what do I do now? I'm thinking, and I went over all my paperwork and all my meds. I lined up each and every bit of medication that I had to take on the table so I could know what was what. And I wrote down what I needed to take and when. And I just followed the doctor's orders. Now, I read the paperwork, and the paperwork had everything they did, what they did from step to step. And then on Gateway, Patient Gateway, they also put down everything, every medicine, every procedure that they did, and it was very helpful. It was an eye-opener for sure. But anyway, they had everything laid out for me. And I went and I tried to lay down. I could not sleep. I was awake. I was up and down. Had trouble sleeping. Didn't know how to lay down. Wasn't sure. I couldn't lay on my side, and that's how I usually slept. So I had to be on my back. And that was difficult because I'm not a back sleeper. But then, after last night, I finally got comfortable and I was able to sleep a little bit. And actually, I kind of like sleeping on my back after that. I mean, but then again, medication did help. So we'll see. But today's day one was a tough one. I just didn't do much. Mostly sat around, got up now and then to get something to drink a lot of water. The advice was to drink a lot of water, and that was good advice because you're going to need a lot of water part. Get all that, you want to flush all that out of you, what they put into you, and plus it help you move your bowels when you have to. They also gave me Marilax to take home, and I took a couple doses of that, and I'll tell you what, you're going to need it. I didn't take it when I got home or the first day. I took it like late in the first day, and then I took it today. And finally, I should have took it earlier in the first day. The very first day when I woke up, I should have took it right away. That's one thing I would advise. But, ask your doctor, be sure. I mean, I'm not your doctor, and I don't know your situation. So if you're into this kind of thing and you have to, go through that, listen to your doctor. They helped me through it, and they know what to do. And today, I went for a walk, felt really good. Slow start, but then I was like, wow, this feels all right. And I'm walking, and I came home, and then I was having a little pain. So after a little bit after I was home. So then I took an oxycodone and the 2 Tylenol. I think this is going to be okay. I was so worried about it. That's the funny thing is, and anyone else doing this probably can agree. The hardest part is the nerves, the wondering, and the anxiety and thinking, oh God, am I going to wake up? I'm old. I'm 71. I'm thinking, is this it for me? No. Once I calmed down, and then after it was done, I was like, that was no big deal. What was I so worked up about? But anyway, the bottom line is wasn't bad. It wasn't as bad as I thought. No need to be worrying about it like I was, especially if you're younger, healthy. I mean, luckily, I'm healthy. Oh, and the funny thing, when I went for my walk, I ran into a neighbor down the street that I talk to now and then. I said, hey, he asked me how I was doing. I said, well, I just had surgery Friday, and 2 days later, here I am walking. And he said, wow, that's pretty good. He goes, what kind of surgery? I goes, hernia. He goes, hernia? He goes, inguinal hernia? I goes, yes, an inguinal hernia. He goes, he lifts up his shirt and showed me his scars. He goes, I just had one too. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I met an inguinal hernia buddy. Anyway, I'll show you all I got for scars is these incisions, three or four holes there. Actually, one was a needle, another needle over here, and then 3 little incisions to go in with the scopes. So it wasn't, not that invasive. I did watch a video of how it's done, the robotic inguinal hernia surgery, and it was quite interesting, a lot to it. I couldn't believe what they were doing in there. And, what they do is they blow up your belly with carbon dioxide. They blow it up so they can have plenty of room to work, and they move your organs out of the way. Then when you're on the table, once you're all hooked up and they got the scopes in your belly and all that, they tilt the table so your head's upside down, almost like an inversion table. Your feet are in the air and your head's down below because it helps move your organs away from the area where they want to work. And that was interesting. Now I realize why my shoulders and my thighs hurt, because they had to strap them in. And that was pretty interesting to see on video. I'm supposed to not lift more than 20 pounds for 2 weeks, and then no vigorous exercise for 6 weeks. I don't know if I can last that long, but I'm going to try. I mean, I walked today, felt good. I might be jogging in a week. I don't know, but we'll see. Check with your doctor. Don't listen to me. That's for sure. If you're wondering, first thing is don't worry too much. It's like probably 10 times worse in your mind than it is when you have the surgery. That I found out. And if you're going to have it, good luck. And let me know how, tell me in the comments if you're dealing with something like this, if you're planning on having that surgery, or if you've had it. Let me know how it went for you. So follow me for the rest of it. I'm going to I'll do another one tomorrow about day 3. I don't know if I want to bore you with every day, but if it's significant, I will. And then I'll go on and tell you how I went until I'm fully recovered. And hopefully it can help you in some way. Okay, have a good day, and thanks for watching.